Alright guys, so today we're going to take a look at how to create a form in Access. So we're going to take a look at what's going to be required of you when you are doing the ECDL examination. So let's take a look at our database. So I have a database here running in the background. So as always, we always need to enable content to make sure that everything is working correctly. And the first step to making a form is to go to the Create menu. So by clicking on the Create menu, I need to click on Form Wizard, and I need to select the table that I'm interested in, and then the fields that I'm interested in. So in this case, we will be creating a form for the customer table, which is the only table that we have. And we'll be using some very basic fields for this form. So I'll be using customer ID, first name, last name, city, phone, and nothing else. So once I've selected my table and the fields that I'm interested in, I need to click on Next. Now, in most cases, if not all, you will not be asked to change anything from this menu here. So, I'll click Next, and as we're used to, we will be asked to call it something. So in this case, I will call it Customer Form. And as always, we need to click on Modify the Form in Design, and then click Finish. This will instantly open the form in its design view, and you're presented with something like this. Now, first things first, it's good to understand the difference between labels and text boxes. So, in my form here, I have two types of objects. I have labels, such as the title or the field names here, and I have text boxes, which are displayed here. Now, what's the difference between the two? A label is just there to display static information, whereas a text box is showing live information from the table that we're using. So in this case, a text box, customer ID here, this one, is getting information from the customer table from the customer field. Now, even if that's confusing to you, there's a way to check it. If I click on View and come back to Form View, I can easily distinguish which one is a label and which one isn't by clicking and seeing whether or not I can make any changes to it. So if, for example, I am trying to click the title, Access will not let me do anything with it. If I try and click on the left-hand side label, Customer ID, again, Access will not let me do anything to it. But notice how Access is immediately highlighting things in the text boxes next to me. So if I can type something in this box, it means that it is a text box. Right. So back to design view. Some of the things that you may be asked to do is to move around labels or objects in general. So to do that, you need to click on the object that you're interested in, and you will see a nice orange border around it, and you can click it and hold it and move it with your mouse, like so. You can also resize these objects. So for example, I might want to make this box be as long as my plane. So I can drag the edge and stretch it from one side, and I can drag the edge and stretch it from the other side. Something like that. You can do this for all the elements that are here in your form. So let's take a look at how I would do this for my text boxes. So I can click the text box that I want and drag and increase the size. Or I could do a multiple selection and select more than one text box and shrink them all at once. So to do that, I need to click on one, see the orange border, hold down the control button, and click the rest. Now that I've got all of the boxes selected, the text boxes selected, I can let go of the control button and drag to the size that I want, and you can notice that all of the boxes are shrinking at the same time, and let go. Automatically now I have shrunk all of my text boxes. Let's see how that looks now. If I go back to view, form view. As you can see, all the boxes now are smaller and are of the same width. Okay. Now, let's see how we can change certain characteristics of this form. Let's make it a bit more interesting. So for example, you can change the font of the text. So instead of having Times New Roman or Calibri, which is default, you can change it to something more interesting, such as Arial or any other font of your choosing. You can also change any formatting aspects. So for example, make it bold, italic, or underline. You can change the text color by using this button, and you can change the text, the label background by using this color. So how do I do this? Well, first things first, you need to select the label or the object that you're interested in. So in this case, I will be clicking the customer form. I don't need to double click it to come to this menu. I just need to click it once to see the orange border. Now, from here, I can choose the font that I'm interested in. So let's choose Arial Black. I can change the font size to something bigger. I can make it bold, italic, and underlined. I can change the color. And I can change the background. Something like that. Now, I could do the same thing exactly for each independent field or text box. Now, if I'm asked to change all the labels to something similar to the title here, I don't have to do them one by one. I can select them all together like before when we were resizing. So I need to click on one, see the orange border, hold my control key down, and click the rest. Now I can do the same type of editing as before. I can change the font type, so let's change that to Arial. I can change the font size to something a bit bigger. I can change some formatting, so I can make them bold and underline. I can change the color and the background. Simple as that. I can do the exact same thing for my text boxes. Now I can do the same selection that I was doing with the control button. So make sure the orange border is around your text box. Hold control and click the rest. Or I can drag and create a selection like so. And again, I can apply the same type of changes to all of these text boxes at once. Like so. So we've got an Abuel theme going on here, and I can check and see what I've done up to now. So if I go to view and change to form view, I will see all my changes being applied. Okay? Now let's see if we can add a picture or something into our database. Now I'm going to open an internet browser and I'm going to find the picture to add here in our database. Now, to add a picture, all I need to do is go back to View and Design View, and I need to select the element that will allow me to insert a picture. Now, all of these are elements that I can insert into my form. The one that I'm interested in is an image. So I need to scroll through and find an image. If not all of these are displayed at once, click the arrow key here to show you the rest of the icons. So in this case, I need to select image. I will click it once and my cursor becomes a cross. So I'm just going to drag and drop the size of the picture that I want. And now Access is going to ask me to find the picture that I'm interested in. So I'm going to find the folder that I had my picture in. And I'm going to double click and leave it inside. Now if I go back to View and Form View, there's my picture. That's it. Click Save and you're done.